Season 3 of the podcast. I had to get my boy back.
Sir.
Before we get started, bro, I got a little gift for you. You can open it
Man.
up after, man.
Hey, I'll
It's
wait
all
till after.
yours, bro. It's all yours. Zach,
Boy.
my man. Nice to meet you, bro, and again, and have you again. So when I was like, damn, who do I want back? Right? I'm like, I gotta get Zach back. And we kind of talked about background before, but I kind of want to talk a little bit more mentality of a quarterback.
Mhm.
Okay. This is going to be good, I think, for not only quarterbacks out there, but just athletes in general.
Yeah.
Right. So when I think about mentality, right, I think it's that word. I think it's a reflection of our attitude. I think it's a reflection of our morals, our standards, right,
Mhm.
our work ethic, things that we put in.
Yeah.
That's what mentality is to
No
me,
doubt.
right?
No
And
doubt.
and when I see you play, and when I see how you carry yourself, dude, like that word resonates for
Mhm.
me, right? So before we get into that, when you think about the mentality of a quarterback, what makes you want to play quarterback?
Ooh, good question. What makes you want to play quarterback? I think
Yeah.
honestly, what comes with it. You know what I mean? Like just the everybody looks at you when you play a quarterback. You know what I mean? Wherever you play, everybody's kind of looking at you. You're the spark plug of the team. And I really embrace that role. You know, like having the eyes, having the pressure. To kind of go out there and perform and make sure the guys are on your level. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like like as a quarterback, the team goes how you go. Like I said, so and that's on a day to day basis. You know what I mean? That starts at practice. That starts walking through the hallways and everything. So they kind of see how you are, and I really kind of embrace that role. Like I kind of want to be a role model. I want to lead the guys, and I want to get the most out of them. And so like from a mentality standpoint, like you kind of just gotta embrace like you got to be a leader, right? That's the best quality of a quarterback is a leader. You know
I
what I
love
mean?
it, bro. I love that, man. That literally goes to my second question I want to talk about, right? Um, and dive in a little bit deeper into the leadership thing. So like, what specific leadership qualities does it take to be an effective QB? And before you jump into that, I'll let you think a little bit. But I was watching one of your games this year. I forgot who you guys played at home, but it was the smallest thing, bro, and it stuck out to me. Every time you handed the ball off to your running back, right, before you came back, you dapped him up,
Always.
right? It was
Always.
something small, right? It just
Yeah,
stuck
yeah,
with me,
yeah.
and I saw it and I noticed it, right? And there's something about being a leader, like you said, as a quarterback, you have to do it, man, vocally, action based. But like, that's the smallest bit of encouragement
Mm-hmm.
that most people probably don't pick up. I'm just looking at little things, right,
Yeah,
when
right.
people are playing and stuff. But I'm thinking about like if I'm that running back, he's young, right, freshman,
Yeah, Ethan's a sophomore and
sophomore.
and Tyson's a junior.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So he's young,
Yeah.
young running back, and then Tyson there too. Um, but that's that encouragement. That's
Mhm.
that like, yo, bro, I got you. Yo, I'm here with you, right?
Yeah,
So
no doubt.
like, what are a couple specific kind of qualities that take to be an effective leader as a quarterback?
The first thing, you can't fake it. You know what I mean? Like you have to be the same person all the time, and guys pick up on that. You know what I mean? Like you've played the sport before. Like you know when a guy's he's got false confidence or false hope,
Right.
right? Like so you can't fake it. You know what I mean? And the biggest thing is you got to have confidence. You know what I mean? No matter the situation you're in, um, no matter what's going on in the game, how you're playing, like you have to give your guys a belief that no matter what the situation is, we're gonna be all right.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think that's one of the most important things you can have. To talk about that story about like dapping up the running
Yeah,
backs,
yeah, yeah.
one of my best friends to this day, Jahan Moore, shout out my boy. My freshman year, you know how it is to play a freshman, like you're out there just freaking out.
Right.
And he was the first person that was like, yo, dap me up. Like I was freaking out in the middle of a play. Like this just can't, right? Fitz is on us. We gotta have a good play.
Right.
Messing up, he's like, yo, dap me up. And we just dapped up real quick. And for me, that was like like I'm cool. You know what I mean? So I always remembered that, and that always stuck with me. So every time that I'm back there, we're always having small conversations back there, like, hey, good run. You know what I mean? Hey, take this, whatever it may be. Just that little bit of confidence that's instills in them. Because if you got one dude that believes in you, for me, that's all I need, right? If you're gonna give me the chance to lead you to where we want to go, then let's strap up and let's get it done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think as, as a leader, you have to have confidence, but it can't be this false sense of hope,
I love that.
right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And I love it. A couple things you said, right? Number one, like you can't fake it. As the quarterback, right? All eyes are on you constantly.
Mhm.
Like, dude, I'm watching that, and that has nothing to do with football,
Yeah.
right? I'm like, where's Zach at?
No, yeah,
Like,
definitely. On
what's
the
he doing? Like,
sidelines,
what is he? You know what I'm saying? And I remember one time you even did it, and you guys weren't even like looking at each other.
yeah, they know it. It's
It
just
was
what we
just,
do, man.
yeah,
It's
man,
what we do.
and I loved it, man, and I loved it. So to lead into that a little bit too, when you see, and it's part of football, right? When you see your teammates miss an assignment, right, drop a ball, fumble, whatever the case may be, as that leader, right, what are some things that you do to help pick them up?
Well, it all depends on the person. You know what I mean? Everybody's different. You know what I mean? I think that's the best part about being on a football team and being a leader of a football team is you got to understand that guys respond differently to criticism, right? And I shouldn't even say criticism; it's just leadership,
Right.
right? There's some guys where it's like, hey man, like missing an assignment, like a mental mistake, right? Like for a football team, that's unacceptable, right? You can't have that. Some guys, it's if you get on them, they'll respond better, right? But
Gotcha.
other guys, they'll be like, you know what I mean, like they'll just kind of get defensive. Like that's their first mechanism, which is all right. You know what I mean? It's not a bad trait to have. It's just as a leader, you need to understand which guys respond to the type of criticism and stuff like that. So, the guys on our team, we're kind of there's high expectations, right? So they kind of understand that, so we can get on each other a little bit.
Okay.
But there's still guys that you know what I mean. It's just, hey, we got you. You know what I mean? Get your head out of the mud. We're gonna be all right. You know what I mean? Like, don't worry about it. Don't trip. You know
I
what I
love
mean?
that.
Let's get it back right here. There's other guys that, hey man, we're relying on you, right? Let's go wake up, and that's all they need. You know what I mean? So
Right.
you just kind of got to pick and choose between, you know, what guys respond to, and it also could be the situation, right? Like when you're in the
Right.
highest pressure situations, even the guys that could take the hard criticism, hey, we got you. You know what I mean? Because they know that they messed up. They're all worked up. You don't want to get them going even more. You know what I mean? You want to get their back, keep their head up,
Right.
and kind of just keep it moving. You know what I
Dope,
mean?
man. Yeah, yeah. For sure. I love all of that, bro. It sounds like to kind of bring all that together. It kind of sounds like it's a relationship thing,
Absolutely.
right? Like you have this relationship that you develop with each of your teammates,
Hmm.
and because of that relationship, you have to handle them differently, right? We're all different. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? I love how you said that. Like, bro, high pressure situations, bro. I'm the same way. Like, I'm sure I could handle that leadership, that constructive criticism, but it's like, damn,
Yeah.
all these people are watching. Like, I know I messed up. I
Right.
know you know what I'm saying? And sometimes, and I could tell people, be like, bro, you okay, it'll be good, bro.
Yeah.
Because they know I know,
Exactly.
right? But I think I could remove my pride and ego because I have that relationship.
Hmm.
So if they did get on me, I wouldn't take it personal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
Exactly.
So I think you said it
And I
perfectly,
think
man.
a great example of that it actually happened this weekend. So I messed up on a code word, right? Like I told our line to go the wrong direction on a run play, right? So we're in the mesh and our running back gets hit, fumbles, right? And they get the ball back, right? We come to the sideline. Fitz is trying to figure out what happened. You know, the line went the wrong way. He's hot.
Right.
Instead of looking at me once he found out I said the wrong code word and just you know what I mean, blacking out on me, he's like wrong code word. You know what I mean? Like he was just cool about it in the situation, whereas he would have blacked out on me.
Right.
You know what I mean? How would I respond? I knew that I made a mental mistake. I haven't made that mental mistake before, really. You
Right.
know what I mean? But like I kind of learned that from him is like, all right, you don't need to just bug out on every situation. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Especially when those tense moments early in the game, we just face adversity. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. I love
he's the
that.
best at that.
No, he's great at it,
Yeah.
man. And it's funny because like you know just as much as I know, man. Like he's so passionate.
Oh yeah. Oh
Like
yeah.
like for the one time that he doesn't freak out on you, it's like whoa,
Right.
right? But like
Because he's the biggest competitor on the field at all
yeah,
times.
but there's balance,
Yeah, exactly. And
right?
he understands when to use it.
And for you, I'm sure you do, right? And like you said,
Yeah,
it just passes off to you,
exactly.
right? Because there's gonna probably be more people on your teams that make more mistakes than you do. So for you
Right.
to be like, yo, it's cool.
The best leaders that I've always been around had that trait where it's just like they
Yeah.
know when to, you know what I mean? They can read the room. You know
Right.
what I mean? They
That's
can read
perfect.
people. And that's what they all, like you said, all comes back to relationships.
Absolutely, man. So let's talk off season, okay? So I think a lot of people when they think mentality, we think like what is Zach doing right now on this play? Um, whether you score, whether you don't, right? The run, the mesh, everything. Like we're thinking that mentality, like what's he doing now? But I don't think people really understand like that off-season mentality, right?
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about your off-season mentality, whether it's when you're home or in the spring. As a quarterback, even just reps, working out,
Mhm.
like what does all that mean to you in terms of your mentality?
Well, I think about it from the end of the season, you kind of at, the bottom of the pyramid, right? Because you got to restart. You're not lifting as much as you were before, right? So at the end of I'm starting there and I got to build my body the way I wanted to. So each offseason, it was kind of been, since I've been in college, it was something different that I wanted to work on. You know what I mean? What did I want my body to look like for the next season? Right. So 2 years ago was kind of, I wanted to get a lot faster than I was. This year was, I wanted to get kind of bigger and just bulk up a little bit so I could take more hits. You know what I mean? And not be as banged up as I was at the end of the year. So I think it starts there, like setting out a plan and a goal for yourself, and then it's just staying consistent with yourself. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
yeah,
striving to your goal. Like this was my goal. This is what I want to reach, and then you kind of build from there and build up. You know what I mean? So the off season for me, it's a ton of throwing.
yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's again, like I set these goals out for myself, and mentally, um, I can't cheat myself. You know what I mean? Because then I feel like I'm doing something wrong and I'm hurting other people.
Hmm.
So, like everybody gets lazy. You know what I mean? Everybody's tired.
For sure.
Everybody's got stuff going on where it's like, man, I might not be able to fit this in. What do I got to do? I always kind of revolved my life. It's a little selfish, you know what I mean? But I always revolved my life around football and making sure I was able to get my workouts in.
I
You
love
know what I
it.
mean? I just got a girlfriend in the off season.
Yeah,
She was amazing with it. You know what I mean? She was a former athlete herself. She was
awesome.
SUNY Player of the Year
Oh,
for right here in Cortland. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
she
yeah, yeah.
understood kind of the grind of it, and you know what I mean. It's just you have to support you or find the people that support you and get that support cast because that allows you to get your goals. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So she was really really cool with me. She helped me a lot with it. And it's just again, it's just I can't lie to myself. You know what I
Yeah,
mebecause if I'm lying to myself, I'm lying to my teammates and I'm lying to
absolutely.
everybody else. And I know I got a lot of people that are relying on me to be the best that I can be.
I love that, man. I love. I didn't even think about that. You touched on that support system, right? I remember Coach Fitz when we were at Morrisville. He said he used to hate, bro, when we left
Yeah.
because there's no more eyes on us,
Nah. Yeah.
right? We don't have to report till we have to report,
Right.
right? There's not even like an early report, nothing, man. And having that support system around you that understands, like, yo, I got a goal. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Like, I want to do this, 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 and if y'all can help me, that'd be great. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But if not, I'm gonna figure this out by any means
Nah. No
necessary,
doubt. No
right?
doubt.
So having that support system, it's even easier.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When we talk a little bit mentality too, digging into film a little bit. Okay, for the young guys out there, even the guys that are in college now that don't take it serious, bro. I love it. I'm a film junkie. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Definitely.
sure you are as
Definitely.
well. But kind of talk about how that can help your mentality or how it develops
Yeah.
your mentality.
I mean, just preparation.
It's
You know what I mean?
crazy.
Like, I'm a little bit of a junkie that way. Like, I need practice to go smoothly for me, throughout the week for me to get my confidence.
Right.
You know what I mean? And um, film study is where you kind of pick up tendencies. You see stuff, and um, you know what I mean? Like, the best players are prepared on game day, and they're not doing it just because you know what I mean. They're also listening to their coaches. And they got great coaches that are putting us in great spots, but it's also because they're doing the little things. You know what I mean? Like picking up any small thing that you can see, right?
Yeah.
Which lineman's hand in the dirt? If his left hand's in the dirt, is he going left? Stuff like that, where the backer's bossed over, right? If he's in a 10 technique, right? Maybe they're spinning down strong, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Week by week, there's always something that either Coach Fitz, Coach Roch, you know what I mean? We all see stuff on film, and it's like, hey, this is what we're gonna see, yada yada yada, and just going back and verifying with yourself. Like I watch a ton of film Sunday and Monday,
Mm-hmm.
right, and just preparing, make sure there's no stone unturned, as I say, making sure I get all that stuff done, and then throughout the week, I'm looking at small little clips, third down, red zone, all that stuff, and then Thursday, like tonight, is my last day of film where I
Okay.
just sit there throughout the night, get everything I need, right, and there would be times where like I'll go to the receivers and I'll text them, hey, listen, if you see this, yada yada, this is what we want to do and stuff like that, just to make sure that we're all on the same page. Because Fridays for us is a walkthrough day,
Yeah.
and we love those just to be perfect. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Smooth, make sure we're on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably the same thing that Coach Fitz did when you were
Absolutely.
there. You know what
Absolutely, man.
I mean? So that film study is, it's essential for you because if you go into any game where it's like, whoa, I haven't seen this look, and teams are going to do that, right? Where they come
Right.
out and it's something different. But if you see something that they did before and then they come out and do it, right? In your mind as a quarterback, it's like, okay, they're doing this, so I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely,
It's
bro.
a chess game, and if
Absolutely.
you're unprepared in a chess game, it's over for you. So
Absolutely. I saw this really cool thing. I think it's right, like film is like a cheat sheet to me, right? Like
yeah,
literally, bro, if teams are good, why would they change?
right,
Right? And
right,
like we always talk about, you know how it is, teams will add a wrinkle,
no
right? But
doubt.
I tell people all the time, it's really cool when you look at film, like once the wrinkle's done, they go back to what they've been doing the past 50 years.
Oh yeah,
Right? What they've
oh
been doing
yeah,
the past season. So it's kind of cool, like the importance of that, right? And you talking about how persistent you are with it, right? And how important film is. I think that's so important for a lot of these kids to understand, right? I have a ton of kids that I train that play in college, man, and I don't think they understand like you can't watch enough film. Like there's
no,
just
yeah.
so much.
There is, you know what I mean. And for me, I have to manage myself with it because I don't want to watch too much. You know what I mean? And
Right,
like try to
right,
be like, okay, this is what he does half the time. You know what I mean? You
right,
never want to get like that,
right.
but I want to make sure that I got no stone unturned. And then when I'm kind of going back, it's saying to myself the same things as I was saying. I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
I'm good. You know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely,
because at
bro.
the end of the day, you can watch as much film as you want. You just have to go out there and play free. At the
Absolutely.
quarterback position, you just got to go out there and play free. But it's good for you to see, right? Like if I'm on the field and I see a certain rotation, right? I go back to the sideline. Hey, did you guys see this too? Cool. Okay, now
Right.
we're all on the same page. They're doing what we thought they were gonna do. Or if it's something different,
Right.
right? Like it's good to be like, oh, okay, they're doing this. They've showed it 3 weeks ago. Okay, this is, you know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
we don't say that on the sideline, but in my head, I'm like, okay, they ran cover 2 3 weeks ago, right? Like that's not their first time doing it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
like they know what they're doing. But a lot of times too, when teams we face, they come out and do a bunch of different stuff, and it's just adjustments on the fly.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's what Coach Fitz and Coach Roger for. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
absolutely.
I just gotta go out there and do my
You
job
do your
and
thing,
do
man.
my 111.
Absolutely, and I love it too, right? Like human beings, like we are habitual, bro, at nature.
Yeah.
Right, but football is like instinctual.
Oh yeah.
Right? Yeah, we have habits,
Right.
but like you could pull a move just your instinct,
Yeah.
and you could have never practiced that before.
Right.
Just off of instinct. So it's like you said, it's that balance, right? It's like understanding both. I feel like. So let's revert a little bit. Last year, you guys played Cortica at Ithaca, right?
Right.
Did you throw an interception that game?
2. No, yeah, 2. 2.
All right. So we're gonna go from there. Okay. We're gonna talk mentality.
Right.
You throw the first one.
Uh-huh.
What was your honest thought? Your honest mental state?
My honest mental state truly was that was a terrible throw. Right. It was a bad decision. I threw a pop fly to their best player. You know what I mean? That's what I say. We tackled them, but at that point, it was like, all right, give me the ball back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, all right, just give me the ball. Like, it was like one of those ones where it was like a bad rep. And at practice, you'd be like, all right, come on, hold on, I gotta do that again, right? Like if you throw an India, I'm like, I gotta get that throwback, stuff like that. So for me, at that point, it was just like, I gotta get my get back. You know what I mean? Like
Absolutely.
I can't. You don't in Cortica, you don't got time to dwell on anything.
Right.
Like the crowd's going nuts. Like the hardest part of that game is staying calm. So my whole thing was like, all right, just give me the ball back. And from there we went on. The second pick I threw was at halftime. Right, it was a Hail Mary play.
Oh,
You know
okay.
what I mean? So they picked one off in the end zone. But the first one, I was really that honestly settled me down in the game
Really?
because it was like, all right, cool. You know what I mean? You got your mistake out of the way. Now you got to go and play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you don't want to turn the ball over. You know what I mean? That's something I pride myself on. The ball's a program. You got to protect the program. But when it happens, you just kind of got to have that mentality. I was like, all right, let me get it back, and then we go from there.
Yeah. I love that, man. I wanted to ask because it's one of the biggest games
Yeah.
of the year, right? For everybody,
Oh,
fans
yeah.
included.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, I just threw an interception and I threw a bad one. You haven't
Yeah.
seen the first one, obviously,
Right.
and it's like, damn. So I was like, I'm gonna ask him, right? Like, where does his mental go, right? Because a good leader is like, yo, I did it. I was wrong for it. It's not happening again. Let me get that thing back,
Mhm.
right? Like you said, that's
Right.
why I want to hear it, and like that's the spin I want to get from this episode, right? Is that mentality, bro,
Yeah.
of like the get back mentality.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
That's how it's got to be. Because if you dwell on it at all, it's just going to be as a quarterback, it can spiral. Because
Yeah.
then you start thinking about the way you throw. It just there's so many things that could go. It's just like, all right, let me get the ball back and let's go.
So kind of sticking on that topic, what do you think is one of the biggest mental battles that you faced, either this year or last year, playing football?
Ooh, playing football.
Yeah, during the game. Just it could be just a regular, you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be the national championship game.
Right.
It could be anything.
I think the biggest mental battle. This is a good question. Biggest mental battle I've faced. I'd probably say, I think playing quarterback at Cortland, there's a lot of outside noise. And
Okay.
A lot of, I don't want to say expectations, but you know what I mean. Like you said, which is comes with playing the position. There's a lot of eyes on you.
Yeah.
And I think my sophomore year, I struggled with the social part of being a quarterback, right? Like everybody's eyes are on you. You know what I mean? You're meeting a bunch of people, yada yada yada. Just what all comes with that. And I think just being myself, you know what I mean, and just not changing for anybody, you know what I mean, and just kind of like whatever happens socially happens socially. Like I got to focus on, you know what I mean, like my job, you know what I mean, and just playing football.
Yeah. How do you block out the noise, bro? Like, so for me, being a safety, right, and a captain and all that stuff in Morrisville, like, I didn't really have it like that.
Yeah.
But our quarterback did.
Yeah.
And he in my senior, like, he wasn't a captain. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But he's the quarterback, bro.
Right.
You are that. Like I was more vocal, right?
Yeah.
But I couldn't shield him from those bullets. Like, how do you handle that as a quarterback? That's a lot.
It's a lot, but I think again, it just goes to your support staff. You got to have the right people around you. You got to surround yourself with the right group of friends. You got to surround yourself with, the, the right people
Yeah.
to kind of help you through that, because you're gonna hear a bunch of stuff, positive, negative, whatever it may be. You just gotta have, at the end of the day, why do I care about what anybody thinks except for the people I care about? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like,
Yeah.
about me, right? Like,
Yeah, dude.
if I don't know you, right, personally, right, and we're not friends or whatever it may be, why should I care about what you think about me,
Yeah,
right? Like, you know what I'm saying? So
for
I
sure.
think being a young player, that was tough. You know what I mean? Because I wanted everybody to like me and all this other stuff. At the end of the day, none of that stuff matters, man. You know what I mean? It's just like you got to go out there and be yourself, and people are gonna have their opinions on you. Cool. You know what I mean? You just
Yeah.
gotta let it rock.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah,
Aaron
man.
Rodgers, I saw a video, bro. Aaron Rodgers literally said that. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, nah, yeah.
It was
Why do
really
I care?
similar, like to what you just said about the criticism, right? Like, why does it matter if it's coming from a camp that doesn't really care about you?
Right, exactly. You know what I mean? Like, you can't let that stuff affect you. And I think every young player, like every young star on football teams, whether it's quarterback, running back, any position, any leader, they're gonna you get all those bullets, right? And it's
Yeah.
just about kind of your mentality on it, and just kind of football is a game of it's a game,
Yeah.
right? And you just
Yeah.
got to play the game that you love. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You
Yeah.
can't let any of that outside stuff get to you.
For sure. And it's dope too, right? Because I think you also have to be able to take some bullets that aren't meant for you.
Yeah,
That's part of being not only like a quarterback but a leader, bro. And where you're at,
yeah.
like as a quarterback and in the program that you're in and like what you guys have built, bro, you're taking more than what you
I think those are
have
the
to.
easiest ones to take. Though.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like, yeah, I'll take that, and because the people that are around us and people that know situations or
Like they
whatever,
know.
yeah, right, like what happened in the game or whatever it may be, like they know. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So like, I don't care about
Yeah.
what they
That's
think
like
about
one
me
of the
in that
best
sense.
feelings ever, bro, when your teammate, you're like, nah, coach, it's cool, it was me.
Yeah,
And your teammate comes in like, yo, thanks, bro.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or even
Right.
if they don't, like they know,
Yeah,
and we know.
no doubt, no
You know what I'm
doubt.
saying?
You
So
know what I
that's
mean?
one of the best things, man. So in closing, bro, so like when we talk about the mentality spot, right? You can kind of reiterate things, but like what would you say um are a couple of the key factors into having a strong mentality
I
as a
think
quarterback?
the first thing is your confidence can never waver. You know what I mean? You have to have the same confidence all the time. Now that's so much easier said than done, right? Like there's gonna be days where you know what I mean, you're not at your best. But when the lights are brightest and it's time for you to go, you got to remember who you are. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like I always tell myself about like I have my confidence. You know what I mean? I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Right. Um, so I think from a mentality standpoint, you got to have confidence. You got to have a little bit of swagger. You know what I mean? You got to be yourself. Whatever that may be, you got to have a little bit of something to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't be a robot.
Right.
You know what I mean? You got to like there's pure raw emotion that comes with playing football. And I let that loose. You know what I mean? If I hold that back, then that's when I'm at my worst. You know what I mean? So I think managing how to control that, you know what I mean, it's got to come out in the right way, but you got to be yourself. And um, I think those are kind of the two key things for to be strong mentally. You know what I mean,
I
and
love
just
it.
like have that mental toughness of anything, right?
I love
Like
it, man.
I think the mental toughness comes from having those things, right? Like
Yeah.
your confidence in yourself and a little bit of swagger, like that
Yeah.
builds your mental toughness up, and you
Yeah.
kind of just can't let that. That there's gonna be stuff's gonna go wrong, man.
Yeah.
Football's a hard game. It's not easy, and there's gonna be ups and downs, and you kind of got to just be that same self all the time.
Yeah. And I love it, man. I love it when you walk into a room and you know who you are.
Yeah, right.
Right? Like you know what you can do, right? And like you said, there nothing wavers in that. There's
Yeah.
no question. If I don't question myself, then like everybody else around me is gonna feel
No,
that
yeah,
too.
no doubt. And again, it comes from that support staff, and like there's situations, especially as a young player, right? Like you step like your freshman year, you're getting in on campus, bro. Like you're deer in headlights, right? But at the end of the day, we're all playing football. It's just a game, and you gotta find whatever you have to do to get to that confidence level of playing your best is what you kind of gotta find when the lights are brightest and it's time to go.
Love it, man. My guy.
My boy,
Appreciate you as always. Thanks,
as
man.
always, man.
Appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate you, man. Shout out, clocked in.
My guy.